Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So I want to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers contract extension they offered Anthony Davis because while I understand why they did it, it's an incredibly risky contract. Like, this is one of those contracts I look at and go, I get why you did it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is risky. Like, Jaylen Brown's contract for $304 million is risky because it cap blocks their entire fucking team. Okay, like the Boston Celtics now have like a 2-year window to win a ring before they start losing guys on their team. Okay, they already lost Marcus Smart, they already lost Grant Williams. It's just the idea, like, Al Horford's probably gonna saddle up and retire at some point here in the next 2 years. It's like, yeah, you locked in Jaylen Brown and you have Jason Tatum locked in, but you're gonna be in a situation like the Los Angeles Clippers at some point where that's what you got. You got two guys and nothing else, okay? And that's in the next 1 to 2 years. At max 3, okay? But the Lakers are in a different situation, and this is why I'm weary about this contract, is because Anthony Davis, don't get me wrong, phenomenal player. Okay, like, Anthony Davis is a guy that I almost pick religiously every year in fantasy because of how fucking good he is, okay? He's a guy that, it's like, if he's still on the board, like, I usually take him. Like, there was, I think it was last year or the year before, it was 2020, 2021, the year he played 36 games, I had him and Stephen Curry on my fantasy team, and because Anthony Davis only played 36 games, I lost. Like, my team was fucking phenomenal start the year. After Anthony Davis got injured, that was the end of it. But I digress. The thing is, Anthony Davis doesn't even play 60 games anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, Anthony Davis hasn't played 60 games in 4 years. He's 30 years old. The last time he played 60 games, he was 26 years old. And the year before that, he only played 56. So, the problem that I have with this contract is obviously injury concern. If we go look at the Lakers roster here on Fanspo, right? And we go to the Lakers, and we go to Anthony Davis's contract, okay? They have Anthony Davis locked up for 2023, right? For $40 million. 2024 is a player option. Now, that 2024 would be the year that Bronny gets drafted and LeBron gets to play with his son, or will sign wherever his son gets drafted, okay? That year is a player option worth $43 million. That's if he picks it up after this upcoming season. And then after that, he's an unrestricted free agent, okay? So in the 2024 offseason, Anthony Davis would technically hit unrestricted free agency. But now, because he signed this extension, they have him locked in through 2027, and he's making $57 million in 2025, $62 million in 2026, and $66 million in 2027. That is a lot of money to commit to a guy who, at 30 years old, doesn't play 60 games for you, okay? I can only imagine when he's 32, 33, 34 years old, and he's playing less than 56 games for you, okay? Like, we're talking in the area of 45 to 50 potentially for a guy like Anthony Davis. And not for nothing, like, right now, it seems like a bad deal. Like, I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like, right now, it seems like a bad deal for the Lakers. And even down the road 3 or 4 years, it's still not a great deal. Like, you're paying $62 and $66 million for a guy who's maybe gonna play 45 to 50 games for you if you're lucky at that point, okay? The problem is, it's like, if I'm a Lakers fan, right, in that 2024 offseason, Anthony Davis could have been an unrestricted free agent. And LeBron is most likely leaving you to go play with Bronny. Like, if I'm a Lakers fan, once LeBron leaves, I'm okay with rebuilding. Like, that's my problem with this whole thing, is like, the Lakers locked in Anthony Davis, who, don't get me wrong, is a great player, but at 33, 34 years old, like, I kind of got to question how good Anthony Davis is actually going to be, because I feel like for at least one of these contract extension years, it's only a 3-year extension, $186 million, but for the lifetime of the contract, it's now $270 million. You're paying Anthony Davis literally $2 million a game, okay, to come out there and play. But the problem is, like, he's rarely ever available, it seems. And I just feel like now, at 30 years old, the dude doesn't play 60 games for you. I can only imagine what that's going to be when he's 33, 34, 32 years old. Okay? And he's always had injury stuff. Don't get me wrong, great player, MVP level guy when he's healthy. But I just think to myself, did the Lakers really have to do this? Like, you know you're losing LeBron at some point in the next 3 years, right? So why would you lock in Anthony Davis for 3 years? I get that you want to remain competitive. I do. But if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm perfectly fine with rebuilding after LeBron leaves. Like LeBron and AD brought us a championship, okay? That's fine. Like, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the idea. If you have Anthony Davis on your roster, you're having him chew up $62 to $66 million in cap space for 2 of those years, where you could have just been drafting rookies and like letting them play, essentially. And not that they can't still do that, but it's just the idea. It's like, at that point, how good is Anthony Davis really going to be? You know what I'm saying? I get that Anthony Davis's agent is Rich Paul from Clutch Sports, so like, we kind of knew that like Anthony Davis was gonna rip their teeth out for money and want a max deal. And he's 30 years old. Like he does definitely fit the criteria for a max deal, especially after the season he had before he got injured, like being in the MVP conversation and stuff like that. But it's just the idea. It's like, down the road, like I don't know if they should have did it for 3 years. That's all I'm saying. Like, maybe a 2-year deal and like max him out, you know, for 2 years. That would have been fine. But three is like getting in the territory of like, this could potentially fuck up an off season or 2 off seasons, you know? So like the other flip side of the coin is also, it's like, if you're a superstar player, and let's say LeBron leaves and goes plays with Bronny. If Bronny is cleared to play basketball, and you know, Bronny plays in college and then enters the NBA, because I don't think Bronny's going to play at USC this upcoming year. Not with the heart condition and all that stuff. I just don't think it's going to happen. But you run the risk here. It's like, if Bronny can't play basketball anymore, LeBron's going to retire. And if Bronny can play basketball, LeBron's going to retire at probably, you know, like in 2025, okay? Like, LeBron's going to play probably 1 year with Bronny, at max 2, and retire in 2025 or 2026, most likely, okay? But I just think to myself, right, like, if you're the Lakers, you're now locked into Anthony Davis. Like, post-LeBron, Anthony Davis is your guy. Unless the Lakers draft Bronny. Unless the Lakers have a plan to draft Bronny James that I just don't know about, like, in order to keep LeBron there, which would be ideal. But I just think to myself, this is a lot of money to commit to a guy that doesn't play 60 games anymore. So maybe he changes it. Like, maybe I get surprised and he plays 65 games this upcoming season. I just don't see it happening, you know? So, I don't know, man. If you're a Lakers fan, I'd love to know what you guys think about this, because like, this is a risky contract. I'm just gonna call it, like, and it's not even a risky contract for performance reasons. Like, because when Anthony Davis plays, he fucking balls. Okay, it's just the idea. It's like, you're paying a lot of money to a guy who's probably only gonna play 45 to 50 games for you a year, and I just think, like, it's risky. Like, if you could have gotten him for less, like, if the extension could have been for less money, like a max extension, just not in the ballpark of $186 million, like, would have been a little more ideal. Like, maybe, I don't know, $150, $130 million would have been a nice extension. But 186, I'm just like, that's a lot of bread. Like, that's a lot of bread to commit to Anthony Davis. So, I don't know. Time will only tell how this will pan out. Granted, like I said, down the road, when we look back at this in 3 to 4 years, people are going to look at this and go, you know what, that was a good extension. Maybe if Anthony Davis plays, you know, like I said, 65 to 70 games, but I just don't see that happening. I think if Anthony Davis plays 55 games, like, if Anthony Davis can play 55 games for the Lakers throughout the duration of this contract every single year for the next 3, the contract was a win. I'm going to call it what it is. Like, it all depends on how much Anthony Davis plays. And if Anthony Davis plays 55 to 60 games for you, contract was a win. I'm going to call it what it is. Like, the days of guys playing 70 to 82 games, they're too few and far between these days. And honestly, the expectation that guys are going to play 70 to 80 games is pretty insane anymore, to be honest with you. So, I just think if Anthony Davis can play 55 to 60 games for the Lakers, the contract was a win. So, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.